Hello, Kindreds. Welcome to part B of my introduction to the element of water. We left off talking about the planetary placements of water energy, more specifically Mars and Jupiter, in addition to the moon. So we ended up talking about Mars, and we almost got to completing that conversation. Just a couple things were cut off from that discussion. So again, just to recap a little bit, Mars energy is really talks about action, to fulfill one's self desires. So whether that action looks like Aries energy and it's outwardly expressive and it's kind of the warrior charging into battle, or it looks like Scorpio energy, which is more like an inward, pushing yourself from the inside to achieve inner ambition versus outwardly expressive ambition, if you will. And then moving on to Jupiter energy. So Jupiter energy connected to water. So water is the divine feminine side to Jupiter is connected to water energy, which is associated with our dear Pisces energies. Again, I use ancient placements because there is pattern and because it makes sense to me using those ancient placements. Feel free in your investigations to look at the Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto outer planets if you would like to, but I will not in any of my content. I use ancient placements. Okay, so again, Pisces energy is the divine feminine side to Jupiter energy, which is water energy. And again, Jupiter is all about growth and expansion. Jupiter is about more, right? You ask Jupiter, do you want A, B, or C? And Jupiter's like, yes, I want all of these things. I will not choose, I will grow, and I will expand in order to accommodate all of these things. And I feel like with Pisces energy, that really relates to Pisces' ability to be empathetic, to grow and expand your ability to connect, to encompass and include others outside of yourself, to encompass and include the places beyond our corporeal existence as well, right? Being able to connect to spirits, being able to connect to future self and higher self, and all these other sorts of things are very Pisces and Jupiter sort of actions or energies. Pisces energy is mutable, which means not only is it able to change or it adapts to change, but it needs change in order to feel fulfilled. That's how I interpret mutable energy. Like, it's not just about the ability to change. It's like you need to change in order to feel like things are working right for you, that things are fluxing and flowing and working and articulating it themselves appropriately. Right. So Pisces energy is about, there's an intimate quality to it. Again, I talked about intuitive nature to them because they are literally able to feel what others are feeling. Again, the ability to expand your emotions, not only to be a link between your soul or your spirit and the world around you, but also be able to link to others, be able to link to energies that are beyond our corporeal senses. That is sort of the magic or the opportunities there in Pisces energy, which is why they're able to be so compassionate, why they're able to feel, why they're able to even have a quality to them that feels like they're predicting, or like you can feel like you know what someone's going to say before they say it, or things like that. That's that quality, that expansion of connectivity is very Piscean. And the 12th house is also associated with that Piscean energy. The 12th house is about the mysteries of things, if you will, the things that we cannot see, the bumps that go, the darkness that goes bump in the night, things like that. And I feel like as you embrace those energies, those quantities, those qualities, you start to sort of pull back the curtain a little bit. So you're less scared of the dark. You're less scared of those sort of spaces and places that you can't quite see or you can't quite connect to with your corporeal senses. Again, that Piscean energy, that Jupiterian energy in its highest vibration is able to reconcile those things and truly understand them. But that understanding goes beyond our sort of intellectual understanding here on this earthen plane. So we mentioned Scorpio energy when we talked about Mars. Scorpio energy is a fixed energy. And again, we're talking about in the realm, places and spaces of water. So it's a fixed water energy. So it's fixed when it comes to the emotive spaces. And I would say fixed once a decision is made. Once a decision is made from an emotive position, it's difficult to get Scorpio to change. Why? Because Scorpio has already kind of gone over all the things, right? Because water is about adaptation and movement, and so Scorpio has mulled over all of these things. And so when a decision is made, right? It's going to be difficult then to get Scorpio to see things emotively from a different perspective or point of view, because she has already processed through and gone through and been uncertain and answered questions and asked questions and dug deep down into the depths of things in order to truly understand them. And so once they're understood and a decision is made off of that understanding, again, it's really difficult to get her to change. I would argue that energy is, there's a bit of chafing or conflict with the element of water itself, because water wants to move, right? Water wants to flow. Its natural state is to flow. And so when you have stagnation, sometimes it's like putting your foot down and being firm and not allowing people to move you. And sometimes it is detrimental and there's a staleness that sets in, and then not great things happen, right? So there's a high vibrational and a low vibrational sort of version of all of these things and how they show up. And then Scorpio is connected to the 8th house, which the 8th house is all about transformation. It's about the I like to connect it to like the emulsification process when caterpillars become butterflies, right? The emulsification process, which happens in the chrysalis when the caterpillar turns into the chrysalis, it's kind of gross and goopy and disgusting, right? The caterpillar completely emulsifies, it turns into goop, it turns into liquid, and then is reformed into this new being. It's transformed into this new being, which is the butterfly, which of course we're like ooh and ah and goo over them because they're so beautiful. But it takes that ugly, nasty, gross, sticky part of things in order to get to the beautiful thing. So just kind of bearing that in mind when you're thinking about transformation, that it is a process and it's not always aesthetically pleasing, or all of the parts and pieces are not aesthetically pleasing. Okay. So again, this was an overview. This is the second part. If you haven't checked out the first part, do consider doing that. Thank you so much for your time, your beautiful energy, and I look forward to creating more content again around the element of water and all of these wonderful energies that are associated with water energy. Thank you. Again, subscribe, like, and I'll see you in an upcoming video. Blessed be.